They've already taken an unassailable 2-0 lead in the 3-match series, and in the third and final ODI, they've actually made merry by scoring 435 for 5, which has turned out to be their highest total in women's cricket. Now let's take a look at the plethora of records that have been created and broken in the third ODI between India and Ireland in Rajkot, and it's obviously India who are leading the charts here. Well, now, as it has been said that India have a total of 435 for 5, which is their highest ever ODI total in women's cricket history. Before this, India had scored 370 for 5, and that came in the previous ODI against Ireland at same venue in Rajkot, and this is where India have bettered their record by scoring 435 for 5. In the overall list also, the highest total in women's cricket, India now stand at 4th, and the only other teams who have actually scored 400 plus in women's ODIs are New Zealand and Australia, and that's what the second quote plate says here, that only a total of 3 teams have crossed 400 plus in ODIs. New Zealand have done it multiple times, Australia have done it twice, and now India have become the 3rd team by scoring over 400 plus, that too against Ireland in Rajkot. Now, the opening partnership between Smriti Mandhana and Pratika Rawal was a total of 233. Now, the two have already made merry against Ireland in this ODI series, and now they've scored a total of combined 350 to 400 odd runs, and in this very match, they put on 233, which is the 3rd highest partnership for India for any wicket in women's ODIs. And because of this partnership, India were able to cross 400 for the first time in their women's cricket history. Well, moving on, Smriti Mandhana scored a 70-ball ton, and she obviously entered the record books here. She broke Harmanpreet's record by becoming the first Indian to obviously score the fastest ton in women's cricket. She got past the landmark in 70 balls, and Harmanpreet Kaur had done so in 87 balls against South Africa in Bengaluru in 2024. So she now tops the list, and also there have been a total of just 4 batters to score 10 or more ODI tons. One, McGlennon with 15, there is Tammy Beaumont, Susie Bates with 13, and now the 4th who makes the list here is Smriti Mandhana, because with this 100, she now has 10 tons in ODI cricket, which is obviously the most by any Indian in women's cricket history. And last but not the least here, the women's cricket team, they scored 435 here, and now they have basically bettered the men's team, because before this, the men's team had scored 418 for 5 against West Indies at Indore in 2011. And that basically came a long time back, which is almost 14 years. And now women's cricket, they have scored 435, which is now the all-time record as far as the Indian cricket is concerned, both male and female. So obviously India is gearing up well for the Women's ODI World Cup that's going to take place later in 2025. After a poor show in the T20 World Cup in 2024, well, India, they made a comeback with an ODI series win against New Zealand. They lost to Australia in an away series. That was a whitewash. But then they came back. They scored a 3-0 win against West Indies. And now things are looking very well in the Ireland series also. They are looking set for another sweep. So these results do bode well for India, and they would really want to make sure that they continue the momentum and hope to get the better of Australia and England in the multi-team tournament. So stay tuned to Sports Today, as we'll bring you all the latest updates and analysis from the sporting world. Until then, on behalf of my producer Shashwat, it's Siddharth Gulati.